at Devoxx Belgium, and I'm here with Heather Downing, who gave a workshop earlier about the Alexa Skills Kit.
Yes.
So I haven't done any kind of development before with the Alexa Skills Kit, or Alexa. All I've done is watch my mum get really irritated when Alexa picks the wrong option. So could you tell me something about it?
Absolutely. So part of the reason your mother probably feels irritated is that perhaps the developer that created the skill she was using was a little bit lazy about handling just the happy path and not the rest of it. And so a good amount of the time that I spent today was educating in voice design, because that impacts our code. It impacts the way that we structure all of our functions and the entire infrastructure. So I got to spend a few hours talking about why we do this, how it's best to design a conversation, and then we actually built a few different skills. We did a basic one that also allows us to kind of play with her voice itself, slow her down, speed her up, make her go louder, softer, and then we did a more practical skill as well. So yeah, that's what we got to do this morning.
Nice. And we talked a little bit earlier about visual learning and about how you got into programming. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that, because I personally find it very interesting about people who maybe wouldn't go down the path most traveled.
So for a long time, I had waited to get into computer science because I honestly thought that I wasn't intelligent enough to do it. But it turns out that the way I was learning was just not the fastest way to set my synapses going. So I actually discovered that I really liked doing science because I watched Mythbusters. Are you familiar with the television show?
I am.
So I was watching these two hosts explain how they put together a rocket, and they did it with the drawings and little animations, and I'm like, oh, I understand that. And then I kind of went off on my own and I decided that I wanted to try to make it, and it worked. And then I kind of got excited because it didn't spark all of my problem solving the same way. And so because I had watched that show, I decided to try my hand at programming, and I love it now. But I find that there isn't a whole lot of visual cues. We like to talk a lot about theories, and I'm not very good at lectures. I'm much better at hands-on, or if you show me what you've done. And once you show me, then a pattern starts getting set in place, and then I can start seeing patterns almost before they happen. And visual learning is a very powerful way for someone to learn who maybe is culturally challenged. So I have a lot of people in the Midwest where I'm from that are also from other countries that come, and we have a really big language barrier. But if I can show them what I'm doing, they almost always pick it up just as fast as a native speaker. So that's when I started really spending a lot more time with trying to bring a more visual tool to people in the tech community, and now I do a YouTube channel as well to try to interview amazing masters of their craft, where they have to teach us something like on a whiteboard or in an IDE or maybe a slide deck, but something that has to be visual so that it can really help additional people like me.
And do you think that with technology like Alexa and more tools, we're getting a better suite of technology that's accessible for everyone? So with Alexa, for example, it's voice command, so you don't have to type anything in. You can start opening things up to more people.
Yes, absolutely. Accessibility is one of the first things you think of, but it's also, I like to call it the shortcut technology for two reasons. It's a shortcut for us as developers because it's an ecosystem that is already built, so we don't have to mess around deeply in the natural language processing. We can get right to all of the business logic and serve that up faster, so it really goes hand in hand with agile development. But also, you don't have to train your users. We already know how to talk. We already know what a conversation is supposed to be like, even if it is culturally based. And it is faster for me to say, answer this question, than it is for me to pull out my phone and look in an app and get to it. I save tons of time just asking a question and having her answer it for me, especially if my hands are full or I can't devote my eyes on something, it's a powerful tool, and it isn't just Alexa, it's any of the voice AI platforms are really amazing. I think, and I predict, within the next 3 years, that's just going to be part of an expected tool set that almost all developers have. Because it's service driven, so it's just like adding an endpoint to your API, but for voice.
Very exciting.
It is exciting. I think everybody should be able to do it. You can build an Alexa skill in about an hour or less. That's actually pretty decent. And you can use it right away, so you don't have to wait to deploy it, because it's available to you right away with whatever account you logged in with as a developer. So if you want to, you could never publish the skill and just use it in some fun thing just for your house.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.